Welcome everybody back to the APP Academy. I'm Coach Dominic Catalano. Today I will be joined by Michelle Esquivel. We're going to talk about transition resets and kitchen resets. When we get back from this commercial, you don't want to miss it. Welcome back everybody. Now that we know what Michelle's going to teach, she's going to teach us resetting today. Why don't you give us just a little bit of a breakdown of what we want to do, maybe where we're resetting from, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so resets are usually when you're in trouble and you want to buy time from your opponent. So maybe you gave them a high ball and you had to go back, retreat a little bit in the transition area. That's when you want to slow the ball down so you can neutralize a point by being back at the kitchen line. Okay,
so now when we're resetting, are we talking about more from like a transition area?
Yeah, I mean, resets could be anywhere on the court. You could slow the ball down from anywhere, but yeah, you could transition from the baseline or reset from the baseline. You could reset from transition zone, from the kitchen line when you're pulled out wide. Anytime you feel like you're out of position and you're not able to attack, you want to slow the ball down and reset the point. And it's such a great thing to have in your game. So it's something that a lot of people don't know how to do because everything that we know how to do is bang, 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 right? So this is a tough one because we can't bang on this shot. We want to give ourselves time and we want to get ourselves back into the point so we can bang at the right opportunity.
So Michelle, an ideal reset to your opponent, where does that, or what does it look like as far as where you're trying to get the ball to their body position? Where are you trying to hit that?
Yeah, so when you're resetting, you want to try to get the ball in front of them or something that's coming down at their feet. So usually, when you're resetting, your opponents are at the kitchen line ready to attack you. So what you want to do is just try to get it in front of them, maybe at their feet, something that they have to hit the ball up on. And so you want to be slowing the ball down in front of them, or sometimes you might want to go down the line depending on where you are in the court. But the biggest thing is slowing the ball down and not giving them an attackable shot.
And then one other point a lot of people are going to ask is, when we're resetting, what does our grip look like? What kind of grip pressure do we apply on the paddle? Is it something where you feel like you're really gripping tight? Is it almost too loose in your hands? What is it that you're looking for?
Well, when someone's hitting the snot out of the ball, right, what do? We get panicky and we get tight on our grip. In all actuality, from a scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being like the death grip, we want to be around like a 3 or a 4 because you're trying to take pace off the ball. And you also want to make sure you get under the ball for a little backspin so the ball doesn't go too fast. So, I mean, don't want to have a death grip out there. You want to slow the game down. You want to settle back into a point. Make sure your grip isn't too loose, right? But it's nice and relaxed.
And then we talk about when they're driving the ball at us and we're trying to reset this, what are we not trying to do with our swing?
Right. The hardest thing is to not take our paddle back and to not make this like huge acceleration through the shot. It's so funny because when I teach my students, I tell them to do nothing. Right? So we want to move into the position where the ball's coming. You want to literally have your paddle out in front and let that ball just reflect off your sweet spot. You do nothing, you have no paddle motion, then that's where you're really going to slow the ball down. And again, that grip pressure is going to be super important. So we want a nice relaxed grip. Try to hit a little under the ball for that tiny bit of backspin, and then you'll see the ball really slow down. And if you want time in pickleball, if you feel like you need time, this shot is everything. So
yeah, and I love how you explain that do nothing, because when they're hitting it nice and hard, the less or the harder they hit it, the less you have to do with it. And it is all about you just catching that ball, like it again you mentioned, catching that ball on the sweet spot. Let them do all the work, you just do basically nothing. And you watch some of the best resetters in the game, they almost look like they could care less that they're there.
Right.
They're just almost look like they don't even care. And what are they doing great though is they're resetting, they're dropping that ball back in. So with all that great information about resetting, about grip pressure, about doing less, right? With all that, what's a good drill that, you know, everybody watching at home can do to practice all this?
Well, the most under practiced shot is basically this one in the transition zone. So what you and a partner could do is work as one person's at the kitchen line, kind of hitting the ball down at your partner or your opponent, and then you trying to reset, apply all those things and trying to work on it. And as an example, if you guys have ever seen maybe a catcher or maybe someone catching a ball in baseball or softball, it's kind of the same thing. You kind of have to get low to get to that ball, and you kind of let that ball go into your glove, and in this case it's the paddle. So that's what you want to look like when you're out there, and that's a type of drill that you could work with anyone, and that will really help you try to slow the ball down and get that nice reset.
And this is such a good drill because you mentioned it right at the beginning there, is that so many people when they come out here, they don't work out of the transition area. No. What does everybody do? You come out, you warm up. Where do you warm up from the start? You dink, right? And then you go, okay, I want to hit some third shots. You go back to the baseline. And everybody forgets about this whole 12 to a 13-foot area in between that we get a lot of balls out of, right? But we don't practice it enough. So that's a great drill. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Special thank you guys today to Michelle Esquivel for joining us at the APP Academy. Some great information on transition resets, kitchen resets. Make sure to subscribe to our APPTV YouTube page. Check us out on Facebook for all of our APP Academy shows. Until next time, we'll see you on court.